Welcome back. My name is Kathy Dior. I'm the author of The Twisted Doors, The Scariest Way in the World to Learn English. You can purchase my book at www.thetwisteddoors.com/ESL.htm. Today we're going to be starting with chapter 7 of the book, and as usual I'll be reading the mystery story to you, and sometimes I'll actually be reading you the quizzes that integrate the mystery story. But it is up to you to do all the sections in the book, and that way you'll learn all the vocabulary and all the grammar that is in the book. Okay, are we ready? Actually, I'm on page 37 of the book, and here we go. By the way, here's the picture. I don't know if you can see it that well, but it is a picture of the old man, okay? The big door closes behind me with a thunderous bang. I pull on the door with all my might. It does not budge. Sir, let me leave this house. No, my little Francis, you are going to stay in my big house forever. So now you're going to do the vocabulary. There's vocabulary here that you need to look at and need to do, and then after that actually there's even unscramble the words here, unscramble the words, and then we're going to start a section that will teach you about prepositions. And as you know, prepositions are probably one of the hardest things to learn in English. Very subtle. A lot of it is rote memory. So I hope that the section that I prepared for you in this book will help you distinguish, for instance, the prepositions in, on, and at. When do you use them? When do you not use them? And all this is explained in the book with very good tables and very good examples. Okay, and then after we do that, then you're going to be learning about how to use them as you speak with your partner. So we have our section again called Who Dares or Cares to Speak in Pairs. Take a good look and then close your book. So this is a section that's made for you and your partner to work on and to work together on, and you can quiz each other, and all at the same time you're actually speaking out loud to your partner, and then your partner will speak out loud to you using the material, using the prepositions that you just learned. Okay? And then now we're going to skip on to the last section, which is a news alert about Francis. And once again, I'm going to be reading this section with the correct answers, but it is up to you to do this section by yourself first, and then you can come back and listen to this tape to see if you got the correct answers. Okay? All right, here we go. From Margaret McGavin, the Twisted Times Junior Reporter, at the doorstep of the Twisted Times building. Yes, we know that you are all anxious to learn what may have happened to Francis. Please be assured that Detective Edwards is in his office right now, working diligently with his assistants to solve this mystery. The latest news we have about Frances is that she was last seen on the 21st of the month at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Mr. Shane, the proprietor of Shane's Horseshoes, was on his way to work in his horse-drawn buggy when he spotted Frances in trouble. Her left boot was stuck between the cobblestones of the street. She tried to free her boot, but slipped and fell on the slick cobblestones. One of her hair bows tumbled from her head and landed next to a curb near 4th and Main. Mr. Shane said that she proceeded to pick herself up and brush herself off. Unaware that she had lost the hair bow, she began walking in the direction of the old Erie neighborhood with the very large homes. Mr. Shane tried to call her, but a crying child in a baby carriage drowned out his voice. That is the latest news we have about Frances. Detective Edwards did, however, mention that a note written by Frances was found in her house, and more precisely, under her bed. We will keep you posted about this new finding. I bid you all good day. So, how did you do on that section? Did you get all the prepositions right? Okay, so now if you're ready, let us go on to chapter 8, which here there is a small graphic of a ghostly figure. What could that mean? I am trapped in this big house. I am really scared. I cannot get out of the house. I scream, "Mister, I am only a little girl. Let me leave." "No, my little one." He begins to laugh. Suddenly, he disappears right before my eyes. Is he a ghost? I begin to tremble. Okay, now let's see. We've got our vocabulary section here that you can work on. You're going to need to put the correct vocabulary words into the blank spaces that you see there, on the blank lines more precisely. And then after that, you're going to start learning about the plural nouns. We're going to start off simply with regular plural nouns and how you add S's or ES's and when you don't. And then after you fill in the table yourself, because this is a table that is actually going to be completed by you, not me. Okay, and then on the next page we have some questions here. You're the whiz, take this quiz. After that section, which is usually asks you a very challenging question based on what you've learned, which in other words, it's going to be at a higher level. Let's see if you can do it or not. That's the challenge. And then after you complete that, then you have a crossword puzzle here, which actually says use the clues, give it a whirl, and make the words plural. So once again, we've got a lot of rhyming going on. Okay, so you're going to want to complete that, and then of course you have a quiz here that you need to complete. And then after that, you're going to be studying the irregular plural nouns. For instance, men, women, children, people, teeth, etc. And you'll also be learning about the what they call non-count nouns. You'll be learning about all that section there. And there's a little table here that you're going to have to complete yourself once again based on what you've learned. And then there's a section that's actually where's the error. So I've actually written sentences here with what you've learned that are incorrect, and you have to come along, find the mistake, and write them on the line. Okay? And then this chapter also finishes with a quiz, and that actually incorporates the mystery story. So once again, I'm going to read this with the correct answers, and you should have already done this before I read this. So you're going to want to turn off your tape and do this section. Then turn the tape back on, and then you're going to check to see if what you wrote is correct. Okay? And I'm actually going to read you the instructions here. Let's see. And then I'll go on and read the quiz/mystery story to you. Okay? The name of this quiz is Edwards Pursues the Clues. Edit the following paragraph for any errors concerning non-count nouns and plural nouns. Warning! You will have to be a good detective in order to find all the errors. Can you find more errors than your classmates can? When you are finished, and on a separate sheet of paper, write a letter to Francis. Okay, here we go. Here's the quiz. Detective Edwards and his helpers, who consist of 2 men and 3 women, decide to go to Francis's house to find out more about the note found under her bed. They believe that this note will give them clues, spelled C-L-U-E-S, about Francis's disappearance. When the detective and his assistants, no E, arrive at her home, only Francis's mother, Mrs. Ann Leeds, is in the house. Detective Edwards observes that Mrs. Leeds is beside herself with worry and decides not to bother her. He walks into Francis's bedroom and looks around. He notices that there aren't any toys or jewelry. Toys with no E. And jewelry is singular, and you do not pronounce the So it's simply, he notices that there aren't any toys or jewelry. On a little table across from her bed, he sees 2 brushes that ends in ES and some money. No S after the word money, but it is only play money. Next to her bed, he sees some books, no E, including a couple of mysteries with spelled I-E-S at the end, sitting on an old piece of furniture. You do not put a in front of furniture. It's simply sitting on an old piece of furniture. He was told that Frances loves mystery stories, spelled at the end I-E-S, and that she enjoys reading them to children her age and to lonely elderly people with no S. He looks down at the bed and remarks that all 4 feet of the bed have made a permanent indentation on the old wooden floor. He looks under the bed and sees nothing. No dust, no mud, no hiding mice. So after the word dust, there's no S. Before the word mud, there is no and the plural of one mouse, two mice. So it should read no dust, no mud, no hiding mice, and no note. Knowing that Mrs. Leeds is quite upset, Detective Edwards makes the decision to come back at another time to ask her about the whereabouts of the note. Okay, so that is going to complete our chapter 8, and later on we'll go on to chapter 9.